property was owned by my uncle and his partner that was in business with, and probably for over 60 years. And when his partner died, then they had to do some land swapping with the partner's wife, and anyway, we ended up with this 1,320 acres. Initially, my uncle, he didn't like the idea of having to cut timber. It was beautiful timber, and he didn't, it was just something that was where he came to relax and just to enjoy the aesthetics.
It was so pretty, he didn't even want a tree that needed to be cut. He said it was like cutting off one of his fingers. Well, we tried to tell him, that's no, Sid. He said, I just don't want him with timber. He loved this place. It's kind of like a cathedral to see it. Being out in the woods, the wildlife, the birds, just name it. And the opportunity was laid out in front of us, and we just grasped at everything we could.
Before he died, he always told me that after he was dead, then I could come in there and start managing the timber. But until then, he really didn't want to see it cut. But actually, before he died, we did start doing some improvement, cuttings and thinnings, and getting things back to where doing some natural regeneration. Well, the primary objective is timber, and really we're focusing on longleaf. About 40% of the property, which is about 500 acres, is in the Armstrong Creek Swamp. We have another probably 40% that's in natural longleaf, which is what most of it that we drive through is mostly natural longleaf stands. Then we had about 100 acres that was sort of a mixed loblolly with some longleaf and hardwood that really wasn't being very productive. So we did clear, that's the only clear cutting we've done. And then we planted all that back in, the upland back in longleaf. And then the lower part along the creek swamp, we planted it back in slash pine. That was probably about 20 acres and maybe 100 acres in longleaf. What we didn't burn last year, we'll burn on the other side, burn it. Aunt Vivian, she's the boss, and any operation, whether we're cutting timber, she's out here every day looking at every load just about that goes off the place, checking stumps. She just, to be 94 years, and actually we started probably when she was 88, so she still hadn't slowed down any yet. But, even when we're out burning, she's out here riding the roads. We pretty much got a road network we can burn off of, or at least good fire lines. And so that way she can be out here to supervise.
Bring you lunch.
And most important, bring us lunch. We developed a multiple use management plan about 8 years ago, and in that plan we started looking at going through the about 700 acres of pine timber and do an improvement thinning, and basically take it down from probably 140 basal area down to about 70 to 90 basal area. That way give the long leaf a little more room to grow. We had some stagnated stands. And it also opened up, we had this vast areas with nothing but pine straw and longleaf. It was very pretty, and that's why Uncle Sid didn't ever want to cut a tree, because he liked to be able to look out through it, but it wasn't very good for wildlife. And so what we've been doing the last 7 years is doing improvement thinnings, focusing on making sure we retain the longleaf ecosystem. We've always had pretty good wildlife, but they really relied on the natural mast. We have quite a few with a swamp, and then some food plots. We have 3 to 4 food plots, and this Howard Field being the largest food plot of about 10 acres, and the others are anywhere from ½ acre to not quite an acre. We've always had deer and turkey there, but we have had pressures, around us with other landowners, and but we're basically, it's pretty much staying like it has been. We don't have a overpopulation, and we really don't have an underpopulation. It's just a good balance. Through the forested flyways, American Forest Foundation, they have a Gopher Tortoise program just for recognition, and we're actually seeing our population starting to gradually go up since, we've always had gopher tortoise, but they're actually increasing now that we've been doing some active management.
Some of the things that Sid and I did for education, we donated 160 acres to Mobile College. We donated either 7 or 10 acres to Washington County School. We established a Vivians Beech and Sid Lee Gilmer scholarship, $500 for the schools of Washington County. Another thing we did to help other people, when they had log a load for children, we donated a load of beautiful logs for log a load for children. Sid was very active in the Boy Scouts. When the timber was cut, he donated a certain percent of that income from the timber to be set up for the Boy Scouts. Sid passed away on September the 12th, 9 years ago this year. I promised him, I knew he was going to pass away, that I and our family would carry on his work that he was doing as best we could. We've enjoyed it. We worked to improve the timber, the pine, the longleaf pine, try to make it a show place, which we think we're doing. I hope for the future of this property that is through the family to carry on just like we have tried to carry on.